Alright, so this is part 2 of section 11-1, which is on cross-section. So what a cross-section is, real quick, it's just basically taking a thin slice of a three-dimensional figure. So you can either have a horizontal cross-section or a vertical cross-section. I'll show you what both of those mean. So if you, this cylinder that I have pictured here, if I said I want the horizontal cross-section of this, what that means is, imagine, there's two ways of thinking about it, really. One is you're taking a slice horizontally across this shape, and you're seeing what that slice is going to look like, or the outline of that slice. Well, in this case, it's going to look like a circle, right? It's going to look like a circle. Well, another way of looking at it is, imagine you stand directly above this thing, or bird's eye view. What would you see from above? Again, you would see this base here, which is a circle. You wouldn't see any depth to it. All you'd see is the circle. Okay, so that's what it means from horizontal, either slicing through it or standing directly above it. Similarly, if you have a vertical cross-section, that's either cutting it vertically, like so, where you're slicing down here, and it slices through to the other side, and slices up there, and forms a rectangle, right? Another way of thinking about that, again, if you have a cylinder, and you hold it, think of a soda can or a can of food, if you hold it directly in front of your face, you're not going to see any depth to it, you're not going to see any roundness to it. All you're going to see is the rectangle, right? That's all you're going to see. You're not going to see anything else. If you don't believe me, hold one up towards like a light, right? So all you see is the silhouette. If you hold something up towards a light and all you see is a silhouette, then you'll see the cross-section of that figure. Let's look at another one here. So we have a pyramid. The base of it is a pentagon, right? The base of it here is a pentagon. So if I ask for the horizontal, what that means, again, you're taking a slice along this shape, right along here. I'm going to slice here. I'm going to slice back there. Slicing along each of my faces here. I'm going to slice along each face, and it's going to form a what? Well, that just forms a pentagon, which again makes sense because if you look at it from above, imagine you're flying over an actual pyramid or something like that, right, in Egypt or something, you're going to see only the shape of the base, right? Well, the same concept goes with the vertical, except you're going from a different perspective. So with the vertical one, you are cutting along here, like so. So imagine you're cutting here, slicing through to the other side, and then slicing up, which then forms a triangle, right? Which again makes sense. If you're looking at a pyramid, you're going to see a triangle, right? And if you don't see any depth to it, you see the silhouette of a pyramid, you're going to see the triangle. Now you may think, why on earth do I need to know this? Well, if you've ever been to a hospital or you've seen an MRI done or something like that, this is what they're using to analyze the body. They're looking at cross-sections of different organs or different joints or bones to see what it should look like from all these different angles, and then what it actually looks like. So that's kind of where this comes into play. Anyway, so I can ask you to find the cross-section of a couple things. So the one I want to present to you is kind of a tricky one. It's the cross-section of a donut. Okay, so think this way. There's going to be a vertical cross-section. There's going to be a horizontal cross-section. Now it's possible to have multiple cross-sections, which we're not going to get into now. Multiple vertical and multiple horizontal, depending on which direction you slice it from the vertical or horizontal, or where you're slicing the actual figure. Okay, so I want you to pause it, if you could, and see if you can come up with some sort of a picture as to what the vertical cross-section and the horizontal cross-section would be, and then come back and play it and see if you get the same result. So I'm going to continue from there. If I'm looking for the vertical cross-section, again, I have a donut, right? If I'm looking for the vertical, it depends on a couple of things. So I'm just going to draw a singular donut here. So this is a terrible version of what a donut looks like. Now, if I'm slicing anywhere away from the center of that donut, right? If I'm slicing in any of these spaces, I'm not going to have this gap right? The gap that the center makes. I'm not going to have that. I'm just going to have, it's going to be a solid figure. So if I'm slicing vertically along any of those, I'm actually going to get a rectangle, but this is away from the hole, right? So it's going to be a rectangle when I'm away from the hole. But when I'm slicing through the hole, so I'll change colors here so you can see what I'm talking about. When I'm slicing through here, what am I actually going to get? I'm going to get two different shapes, right? So vertically, it's going to be, wait, did I say a rectangle, by the way? Hopefully you saw that that's not true. If you really slice on one of these black lines that I drew, it would be flat across the top here, but the outsides of the donut are actually round, right? So it would be kind of a semicircle on each end and then flat across the top. Where the other side, in where the hole is, you'd actually end up with two circles like so. This is where the gap occurs in the middle here. So this is where the gap occurs in the middle right there. Anyway, so that's the vertical. You can have different types of vertical there. So the horizontal of this is a little different. Let me redraw this picture here. Again, if I have a donut and I'm slicing horizontally, well, no matter where I slice, if I'm slicing horizontally here, I'm going to, there's no way avoiding this center area, right? There's no way of avoiding that when slicing horizontally. So no matter what I get when slicing horizontally, I'm going to end up with this shape. It just looks like a donut, right? It looks like a donut no matter what. Anyway, so that's the trickiest kind of that you'll see. I doubt you're going to see much more than that. We'll look at a challenge problem together in class. If you want to look at it now, it's number 45 in your book, and we'll look at that excuse me, together in class tomorrow. It gives you the cross sections and it tries to get you to then draw the actual shape. But anyway, that's it for this lesson. You can try some problems in the book, try some odd problems so you can check your answers, see if you're doing it right, and come to class with any questions you may have. Alright, see you tomorrow, guys.